Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the City of Menifee's Parks, Recreation, and Trails Commission meeting for Thursday, December 4th, 2025. I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. And Madam Clerk, Ms. Valencia, would you call roll, please?
Commissioner Gilroyce? Here. Commissioner Sanchez?
Here.
Commissioner Tremblay? Here. Vice Chair Peterson?
Here.
Chair Faust?
Here. Thank you very much. I've asked Commissioner Sanchez to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner.
Please stand at the right hand of your heart. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll now go to item 4, agenda approval or modifications. Are there any modifications to the agenda required?
There are none.
There are none. Okay, thank you. Commissioners, have you had a chance to review the agenda, and would you approve?
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Okay, a second.
I'll second.
Okay, and thank you. So the agenda is approved as been published. So let's go to presentations. Item 5.1, the 2025 Chelsea Bollinger Spirit of Service Award.
Yes, and just real quick, Chair Faust, we do have a public speaker for that item, Mr. Pete Bollinger.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Bollinger.
I'm going to try to get through this, guys. First, I'd like to thank all of you that do thankless work. You're not always praised, but sometimes people are abusive and they don't treat you right, and you're just trying to do the right thing. So I'd like to thank all of you for everything you do. And if if she is here tonight watching and watching this young lady get Employee of the Year, that would be amazing. But I do know what she would say to you, and she would say that what you do is important. She would. And she would also say that every one of you matters. So I had this big speech, but I can't get through it, and so I'm just going to shorten it up. But she's probably smiling, watching this happen, and I've had a lot of signs that I know that she is in the spiritual realm here, and I just want to thank a few people. I just want to thank Gabby. Gabby's kept in contact with the family and been amazing and incredible person, and just makes me feel that Chelsea, she meant something. She meant something to all of you, and so you guys have no idea the honor that you just gave to her and to us and to me. So I thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bollinger. Appreciate your sentiments, and we are excited to be able to debut this new Spirit of Service Award in her name. I should turn the time over to Gabby.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners. I would like to invite you all to the front to help us recognize our first annual Chelsea Bollinger Spirit of Service Award recipient. For those of you that did not have the pleasure of knowing Chelsea, she joined the Community Services Department in 2018. During her time, she has facilitated adaptive programming and contract classes, but she is most known for her oversight of the special events team and community relations. Her family, this department, and this city suffered a significant loss on February 17th when Chelsea unexpectedly passed away. Since then, our department, with the support of this commission, has sought different ways to memorialize Chelsea and honor her spirit of service. The Chelsea Bollinger Spirit of Service Award is will be presented annually to a CSD employee who best embodies Chelsea's positivity, teamwork, and commitment to enhancing the quality of life for others, specifically here in the city of Menifee. The 8 employees previously recognized as the Employees of the Quarter over the past year were eligible for voting amongst their CSD colleagues. And this recognition helps to continue Chelsea's light and recognize those that inspire others through their everyday work, their actions, and their positive attitude. At this time, it is my absolute honor to introduce our CSD Employee of the Year, earning the distinct title of the first recipient of the Chelsea Bollinger Spirit of Service Award, Jeanette Deliano. So we do have a plaque coming in, Ms. Jeanette, that will be put up there. So that one is just to demonstrate what it will ultimately look like, but it will be put up in the office at our CSD administration. Jeanette is a part-time CS specialist who oversees field allocations, contract classes, indoor reservations, and environmental programs. Keyword, part-time, and yes, she does it all. Jeanette is a rock star in her department. She's well known for her customer service abilities, her friendliness, and her work ethic. Her overhaul of the field allocation process these past couple of years has transformed the overall user group experience. This award is well deserved. Congratulations, Jeanette.
Yes, we are very excited about this and to be able to have a way to honor Chelsea and for her service. I worked with her for many years as a volunteer, helping on a lot of the programs that she directed, and as an employee in the Community Services Department, and we wanted to find a way to honor her and we wanted also to get input from her peers, and so this award actually came as a result of soliciting feedback from her peers in the Community Services Department, and so this is wonderful, and congratulations, Jeanette. And I love the picture of you here. It looks like a magazine cover. I like that. That was up. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. That's a beautiful picture of you. And Mr. Bollinger, thank you for being here too, to honor your daughter. We sure loved her and miss her dearly. We are now on item 6, public comments, non-agenda items only, and this is the time for members of the public to address the commission about items which are not listed on the agenda. The Ralph M. Brown Act limits the commission's ability to respond to comments on non-agendized matters at the time such comments are made. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes on any single item. Please submit a card. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And I understand we have one public speaker, someone who's pretty well known to this commission and to the city, our acting mayor, Bob Carwin. And make sure you watch the clock for Mr. Carwin, too.
It's been a long time since I stood at this podium. I just wanted to come by tonight. I don't know, Mo, have you announced yet?
I think everybody knows.
Okay, so I had the pleasure of appointing Mo Sanchez to this commission right here, and he informed me that he is resigning. This will be his last meeting, so I wanted to come and commemorate that by appearing here and to say thank you for your 2 years of dedication and service to our families here in Menifee through parks, recreation, and trails, and just everything that you've done for us. You've represented the city well, and you've made me look good for my decision to appoint you to it. So I just wanted to say thank you for your time of service with us, and we wish you the best of luck in everything that you're doing. And I really like the fact that you're not resigning because you're disgruntled and mad about what's going on in the city, but because the rest of your life is going so well that you need to tend to your family and your business, and that's perfectly fine. So thank you very much. We wish you the best of luck in everything that you do, and Menifee appreciates your time helping us out here.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate that. Would it be appropriate for Mr. Sanchez to say something now, or did you want to bring that up later in the agenda?
So technically, it's a public comment and it's
That's
not
true.
agendized, but I will be bringing that up during my director comments, and we can definitely have, allow him to speak at that time.
Say something. Oh, very good. Thank you so much. Okay. Then we're on item 7, approval of minutes, the November 6th, 2025 minutes. Commissioners, any comments or changes or corrections necessary to the minutes? If not, can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Been moved. Do I have a second to approve the minutes?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Tremblay. And then the minutes of November 6th are approved. We're now at item 8, consent calendar. And we have, this is the monthly the filing. Commissioners, the consent calendar can be approved in one motion. Otherwise, if you'd like to discuss a particular item on the consent calendar, we can ask for that to be, we can approve all items except that, and then ask for a clarification or answer any questions you might have. Anyone have any questions or concerns about the consent calendar? Okay, can I have a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented?
A motion.
Second.
Okay. The consent calendar is approved. Thank you very much, staff, for preparing that detailed report. We're now on item number 9, discussion items. 9.1, Turf Management Program Overview. And so I assume Bryce is going to lead that through us, and the recommended action of receiving and filing the information regarding the Turf Management Program. So thank you.
Good evening, Commission, and I'm going to tag team this with Aaron here. I'm going to start it off, get a little kind of a story going over everything that we do. So turf management is good. We have a lot, well, we have a bigger division here at Parks, a lot of things that we actually do. So turf management is going to be one of those bullet points, and tonight we're really going to go over that and explain what it is, what we're looking forward to in the future, what we're implementing. As you can see just on this slide right here, so over to the left is our parks staff that's there, starting from me with our management analysts, our field supervisors, our park rangers, and then our field staff that maintain, that do all the playground inspections, anything that any repairs, and any of that kind of stuff that's there at the parks and our right-of-ways. So that's just the parks division. Obviously, we have other divisions that are in there, but that's everybody that's going to those parks. So we have 22 parks currently right now, a few under construction, so we'll have even more here real soon. We have over 6 million square feet of right-of-way landscape that we maintain. There's 8 facilities that have the landscape that we maintain there, and then 4 vacant lots that eventually there'll be parks and city halls and things like that that we maintain as well for that. So all the staff that's there, as they're doing their regular inspections, they're logging all that stuff that we're able to start taking items from there to the future, especially now we're able to start budgeting more and see where the high rates are, if there's vandalism or if there's irrigation systems that are starting to age or anything that we can update that they're doing. But that's what the staff's doing. So, and then we take that into our capital improvement program. We have our tree trimming program where we have over 10,000 trees. And then we have the landscaping that's maintained. And we do all the maintenance, as in we may plant and do a little bit of all the irrigation work from the meter on is our city staff that does that. But we also have our contractors that come out and they do the janitorial, and that could be anywhere from 5 days a week to every other day. They're doing their trash. We're getting the mowing once a week or trimming shrubs, and it all depends on if it's a sports park or a little pocket park, the use of the park, how often they have to be there. But so the Parks Division has help, and then we have all that, and then when our contractors aren't there, obviously it's our city staff that's doing that janitorial and picking up on the weekends and doing those extra things, doing all that. So all of that in mind, like I said, we have all those bullet points. One of those things that is going to help with our sports leagues, just our parks, the looks of them and use of them and everything is the turf. We have 122 acres of parkland that we currently maintain. Just in that parkland, 58 acres is just turf. So that's a lot of grass that's throughout that. That's 2.5 million square feet that we have just at the parks themselves. So some of it is passive parks that don't get heavily used, and some of them are going to be our sports fields. Going into to take care of that turf, everything, I'm going to pass it over to our field supervisor, Aaron, that's going to go through the turf management, and then he'll hand it back to me, and we'll have a discussion on that. So, Aaron, if you may.
Thank you, Bryce. Good evening, Commissioners. I'm going to provide you guys with a general overview of our turf management program. I'll start with a brief explanation of our turf grass systems, the benefits they provide, and how we assess its quality. As you can see, the benefits provided from turf grass are environmental, functional, and communal and economic benefits. The quality assessment and how we decide that the turf is healthy and usable for all of our leagues and residents is starting out with color. We want a nice deep green color in showing for a healthy turf grass. The next two bullet points will kind of touch on something where you'll see where over the last few years we've kind of changed the city standard from where for decades every park was kind of used a tall fescue grass, which is bunch type grass for cool seasons. It keeps a deep green color year round, but it does require more water, and it doesn't quite hold up as well to the use of the sports teams. So we kind of transitioned over in the last few years, and you'll start seeing this more and more. It's going to be the city standard at all new parks, where we're transitioning to a warm weather turf grass, Bermuda grass. Grows laterally and basically holds up better to the wear and tear of continuous use. Helps to maintain that uniformity and the rigidity of the grass, given that turf grass canopy that can support the weight and use of constant use by teams and everything else. The elasticity of the grass, of course, is its ability to bounce back, and that's something that the Bermuda grass does better than the fescue over long-term use. The resiliency, of course, is the soil's ability to resist compaction and compression, which, again, over time with the fescue being watered more often, water creates compaction, especially as it's being used and constantly being stomped on. Creates more of a maintenance need where we need to aerate and top dress some of our parks constantly to keep up with that, and that's another thing that the Bermuda grass will help us with. We can go on to the next one here. So our turf management program kind of focuses on these bullet points here: fertilization and nutrient management. Our main nutrients that we use on our turf grasses are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Nitrogen promotes green color and strong blades. Phosphorus helps support strong root systems, and the potassium will help to provide disease resistance. Our irrigation management, we use a CalSense web-based system for our irrigation that helps us to monitor and keep our watering efficient. Our pest and disease management, we use integrated pest management, targeted and environmentally friendly treatments, organic pesticides and fungicides. Our mowing and clipping management, that's something that we work closely with our landscape contractor to make sure that we don't have extra clippings and that our mowing schedule is maintained consistently. Soil and surface management, of course, I kind of touched on that a little bit already, where we do a lot of the aeration, top dressing with a bioretention soil that we use to top dress, and our record keeping, of course, to make sure that we are fertilizing on schedule, and aerating consistently as well. We'll jump over to our sports field usage. Currently on our fields, we have 10 soccer leagues that range from 70 people to 700 plus residents per league. We have 14 baseball leagues that range from 12 to 500 plus residents per league. This equates to thousands of people per week on a daily basis using our fields. Approximately 4,000 total reservations in 2024 on our 4 baseball diamonds and our 8 multi-purpose fields. And for that reason, with such usage, we do have to close our fields sometimes for maintenance. So what you will be seeing is we are implementing a maintenance, 8-week maintenance closure cycle, where we will close down sports fields for 1 week at a time to do more regular maintenance and give rest to the turf so that it has time to recover. And this should help us to not have to do major closures on fields all the time and give access to our leagues to be able to use our fields more consistently. You will still see some of the extended closures during the springtime when we're transitioning out of the dormancy of some of our grasses. The differences that you will see from the maintenance closures, the 1-week closures, to the extended closures is we may be doing some resodding. We'll do a heavier top dress and overseeding on a lot of the areas. And this longer recovery period gives time for, like I said, the Bermuda grass that we use grows laterally and can actually recover and recreate that uniformity for some of the grasses on our heavily used fields. And I think I'll throw it over to Bryce for the next one.
Yeah, I'll pick back up, and thank you, Aaron. So as we keep taking all those records and we start doing all those projects, some of the items that are there, and it all correlates together because we have lots of tree maintenance and all that stuff. So this maintenance that we're going to be doing, the turf program that we'll be doing, it can help us start capital improvement programs. So if we need replacement of either large soccer fields or irrigation systems or upgrades or anything like that, and then ahead of that, we've already started working on, we had a consultant go and we did a park asset management. And so we got our asset, we marked and it leveled each of our park benches and restrooms and different things like that, so we know if things are outdated, things need replaced. And obviously we do that ourselves, but we now have that and we're putting it into our GIS system. We're working with that, so we can click on that park and we see every bit of asset that we have, so we can click on that, and that would be a bench, and it's within that grade. Is it a good grade, bad grade, fair? It gives us a time to start planning for that improvement or that replacement plan, because as we know, everything gets used. It doesn't last forever at these parks, and they're old, and it's not a bad thing, but we do have to replace things at times, and it's not that they're vandalism or anything, they just age over time, and with that. And all of that together, the assets, that capital improvement, everything, it all is gonna go to our budget, So if we know how many users are at the field, how often we're gonna be doing this cycle and everything, for that management, we're going to be able to budget a little bit better each year to know exactly what we're going to do. We've been around 10 years now for community services, but 10 years, each year we're adding 1 or 2 parks, 3 parks, So the older parks that we've had over those years, we're starting to learn what we need exactly funding-wise and everything of the use of the parks, but also, as you all know, we're growing tremendously, so there's a lot more users at those parks, and that's not a bad thing. It's bad for maintenance, but it's great for the actual, what it's used for, what it's made for. That park is made to be used like that. So all this future planning and everything that we're having there, that's what we're gonna be doing in the future without that. So we're here for the turf management program, but it all correlates back to each little individual thing that we have planned in the future. And then one more thing we'd like to add, and we want to be able to share this with the public as well. And as you guys, we brought last commission meeting, we had the park signage and everything, and that's what that QR code there is on the screen. So as that was on that sign, we wanted to share all this that we've done and some of the issues or some of the things that we're presenting tonight that we could share with the public all the time. If there's closures, if there's anything that's going on, that's on our website. So that QR code, like I said, when we do install those new park signage and everything, it will be that same exact QR code. If you were to scan that right now, it's going to take you to our website. And it'll give you lots of those links. So there's the list of parks and amenities if you wanted to see just where you were going in there. Our park maintenance, which you can look over to the right-hand corner, the bottom right-hand corner, and that has our turf maintenance program, turf management program that's there. And it tells you just some of the level of services that we have at some of the parks, what we do. And then the biggest thing, you can look for our park, the ordinances if you want to see anything. We're working on for the open space on that, our field conditions. So when we do have to close, because if it rains or if we're shutting down, we want people to be able to know ahead of time that it's going to be closed. So we have that on the website now, and we've had that, but we're working with everyone as it starts getting better, and people could just go look up on the website and say, oh, this field's closed, and we knew that before everybody calls, if there's something that's closed. And then our facility, you want to rent a facility or any of the parks, that's going to be on that as well. So, and then the biggest one is obviously we will always encourage people to report an issue or anything like that. But like I said, this is the turf management, but it all correlates to everything we do. So like I started at the beginning, there's lots of bullet points of what we do. This is one of those ones that funnel and they all connect together. But if you guys have any questions, we're definitely here. But that's our presentation for that.
Thank you, Bryce. Commissioners, questions for Mr. Howell?
First of all, good job. Very thorough. Thank you. I do have a quick question. What about herbicides and pesticides? Are we using eco-friendly?
So
How's
we
that
are,
progressing?
I believe it was brought that even to commission and then council. It's been years. So we obviously want to use mechanical, which is like human if we're trying to move it, remove any weeds. But at our parks, we do use an organic herbicide to get rid of the weeds that are on there. That is our second line. Our first line of defense is always mechanical, hand pull or anything like that. Our second line is the organic herbicide that we use at the parks. And that went to council and everybody. It was years
It's been a
ago,
while.
but yes,
That's why
it has
I'm
been. It's
asking
been through
again.
you guys,
I know
yeah,
when
through Park and
glyphosate was
Trails.
a
And
big deal. and
correct,
everybody was
yes.
talking about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it possible to link this report to that QR code? I think people might be very interested in reading it.
Absolutely, we can work on that.
Commissioner Peterson?
Well, first off, I love this. This is it's beautiful. I think that it's great that we have this as a presentation to start with, but in general, it's really nice to know that you guys are putting this together, forming it up for essentially just a policy procedure type of a deal. And I know that a lot of people are going to be very pleased with that. To follow up on his question, the herbicides are organic. How about the pesticides? Are we talking, we're not, looking at like chemical poison type stuff?
No,
or-
so if we have to, that's going to be in, that's the management plan that we have. If we have to, sometimes there are, but we try not to. We don't want to hurt, obviously at the parks, we don't want to, but it helps, it hurts wildlife and everything else like that. So you poison a rat, we do have to use that sometimes, but we are not our best action is to try to not even have them. We just purchased for like our squirrels and gophers. We're no longer using any pesticides or anything for that. So we have a machine ourselves. It doesn't take any chemicals. It's just water and sand. We're able to work with that to be able to remove those, eradicate those. So we're working ourselves on that to not use anything at the park.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other commissioners? I appreciate this report, and I see that the information, especially on the field maintenance rotation, is out published now on the city's website. So I really appreciate the full transparency to the public, and that you've worked with our leagues and got input from them as well too. Do you have to completely remove all the fescue before you reseed for Bermuda?
No, so it depends on the sports fields. A lot of them have been kind of removed from usage. It died down. So we did not have to go through completely and remove it. A lot of areas, some we'd have, some we have not. So we have machines that will remove it, and we work with Waste Management to be able to dispose of the soil and everything that's there. So everything we replaced is obviously, we're working on it now, but to answer your question, sometimes we have to remove all of it, sometimes it's already gone, so that's why we're replacing it just from that wear and tear.
And to follow up on that then, so on the rotational maintenance calendar that you've got published here, but when it's, these typically are like a week or maybe 2 at the most, but if you have to actually replace all the turf, that's more an extensive outage then, right?
Correct. Yeah, so those will be our extended closures when we have to do that. It could be anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. So that's the difference between those that Aaron was explaining. So we're gonna have the 1 week closures, that's just gonna help with, it's just our aeration and stuff, help with that compaction and the growth, and give that a recovery for the turf itself, fertilize. We're always fixing irrigation, but we can do a full audit through it and go through there when we're able to close those. And then as we keep doing this, it's not like you're gonna see this in instant. It definitely see the progress of it right away, but over the next year to 2 years, it'll make a huge difference as this recovery of doing that. So it's a longer process as it grows, but it's not that long to where, it's not like a 5-year process of this, but as we start using this over the next 2 years, the leagues are definitely gonna notice this with those closures.
And again, regarding Bermuda now, is that now our design standard for all new park?
So we're putting that in, correct? Yeah, that we've been calling out. Even the new Valor Park will have that. And then some of them get overseeded with a ryegrass because the Bermuda. So we use a hybrid Bermuda out there. It doesn't seed, so we can't just go overseed that with a Bermuda grass like a common Bermuda you can. But what that hybrid does is it stays greener a little longer and it actually greens up a little sooner. So when it goes dormant, and we still receive the phone calls that we killed the grass, it's just going dormant, you know, it's sleeping. But lost my train of thought on that, but yeah.
Okay, and then Bermuda grass, you said it grows laterally, like through the rhizomes under the soil, and
Correct.
is it more of a problem if it spreads into the planters then?
So that's what we have. So that's why we use the hybrid Bermuda. The common can go in there, and the Spirit Park has been there for 9.5 years, you know, and that's the common Bermuda that's there. So as long as we keep up on it, we should be able to take care of it, and that's why we have our weekly maintenance that's mowing and edging and everything. It keeps it out of there. If we let that common Bermuda go too long, it's seeding and it can spread. But our contractor and with our maintenance staff, we try to keep up on that. It definitely, if we let it go, I have it at my house. It'll keep going. Yeah. So
Very understood. Commissioner Tremblay had some questions.
So I am not an expert when it comes to turf. I'll start with that. I'm just curious, for some of our new parks that are coming out, have we considered artificial turf, or is there a reason why we would want to avoid that as an option? I just think about like the local high schools where they have, like the football field is artificial turf, and I know they have soccer, lacrosse, football.
we have, and some of the newer ones, cost-wise is that, and the maintenance. So maybe we can do something in the future too, and bring and show the difference. We've worked with other agencies that have given us even the information. They've done a lot of the research. So if we were to just say replace Audie Murphy about 4 years ago, it was going to cost over $1 million just for one soccer field. Now, if we have a new park coming in, that may last us 5-10 years, but that's at least $1 million to replace that, you know, that each time. Yes, it saves with the water and everything, but also you have to sanitize, you have to do things. But the wear and tear, maintenance-wise, use-wise, I mean, there's pros and cons of both. We have looked at it, but right now that's what we're trying to do with that hybrid Bermuda. So it's there. We, instead of just having that plastic that you're playing on all the time, it is in some of the even major leagues and sports, you know, leagues, they're starting to go back to grass because of some injuries and things like that. The best thing for it is that maintenance, you know, it's less maintenance, it stays smooth, it doesn't wear, but it will eventually wear down, but the cost of replacement is pretty high up there.
Maybe we can get the Chargers to have spring training at Audie Murphy, and that can offset the costs. Commissioner, did you have another follow-up?
No, she kind of took my.
Okay, and just one last thing. Regarding irrigation, how many of our parks now are irrigated with reclaimed water? We retrofitted La Ladera recently.
20,
About
about 22, I believe. I may be
I
wrong.
want to say 19 or
19, yeah, 19 or
So
20. Yeah,
almost
we only
all?
have a couple that are not.
Yeah.
So almost all then.
It's almost all the new ones. Even so, the new ones, even like Hidden Hills, that's been open a couple years. it's set up for recycled water. We're working at the EMWD. There was one connection in the street down Evans that they were waiting on another development to put on. I've been working with them. Aaron and I had a meeting with them earlier today about it, actually. Within the next couple months, they're actually doing that last connection, which will bring our costs down, you know, help us save a lot of funding once they actually connect that at the street for the recycled water. Like Laladera, we turned into a retrofit, so we turned that into a recycled water, which is a huge cost savings. As long as EMWD, if they're ever going, EMWD tries to use like a developer to add that connection in or anything, you know, and it works out. So if there is something down an existing road and they are going to be putting there and they know it's potable, they reach out to us right away and they want to convert as much as they can to the recycled water.
Thank you. And kind of semi-related, but the medians and areas, and are they slowly converting to reclaimed, or are they all?
No, they're, I'd say it's like a 70-30. A lot of the older ones may be the potable water, but anything new is recycled water. 95% of the time. There's some areas that it still is potable water. Sometimes it's next to like Salt Creek, there where you can't have it, or there's just no water line there where they're building. They'll do the potable, but most of them are recycled water.
Very good. Commissioner Peterson?
To follow up on his question, so using the Bermuda grass, whether it's the hybrid or, you know, the other one, that's actually going to decrease water usage and decrease the maintenance cost overall. Is that kind of?
Yes. So that over the longevity time, yes, that's our plan with our goal with that, exactly.
Win-win, pretty much, for all purposes.
Correct. Yeah.
I like that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for the report. Let's move on to 9.2, athletic field allocation policy update. Scott.
Hello. Before I get started for item 9.2, athletic field allocation policy update, as a note, there is a red line copy of the staff report in your red folders in front of you with several minor edits. And if you have any questions about those, you can just pause me and we can go over that. But the Community Services Department is responsible for coordinating the use of ball fields and multipurpose fields that are owned and operated by the City of Menifee. Twice a year, we accept field allocation applications from user groups. This process is guided by our athletic field allocation policy. Over the past allocation periods, staff, primarily Jeanette, who you saw earlier tonight, staff have identified several areas that would benefit from clarification and improvement. We presented the draft policy in person at our biannual field allocation meeting that was held on November 20th. With representatives from our returning sports leagues and travel club teams to review the process, any policy changes, and collect any feedback that they had. Here's an overview of the allocation process and the updated policy. So as I mentioned, we have two field allocation seasons. Our first one is spring and summer. Our deadline is coming up December 19th. All of the information with the draft policy and the updated application have already been sent out to our user groups. Opening date is anticipated February 1st with the closing date of July 31st. Our fall-winter allocation season, of course, we'll have that deadline a little bit closer, but opening date is August 1st, and that will span to January 31st. Here is to highlight some key enhancements going from the previous policy to the current policy. We really looked to streamline the application and the documentation requirements. We consolidated a lot of the documents. We clarified deadlines and made sure everything was easy to read and in a checklist. We expanded some definitions and clarified our user categories. We revised our priority descriptions and reinforced our subleasing restrictions, which was huge. We have more robust rules and regulations, including detailed expectations for facility care and the user responsibility. We have our revised field closure and inclement weather procedures, some additional guidance on the protocol when it comes to inclement weather and field conditions. We improved our billing credits and refund structure, updating the billing cycle, and reinforced our 72-hour cancellation window reminder. We enhanced enforcement and compliance measures with a 3-strike policy to ensure compliance and maximize public access. And we also updated our field maintenance and preparation standards. So as Bryce and Aaron discussed earlier, really taking a look at what our policies and procedures were, on our park side as well, and make sure we aligned with that. And then with that, we identified user responsibilities for their field prep, but we also provide additional striping request process too. Here's an overview of the application checklist. Of course, it's the application itself. We ask for a signed acknowledgement of the athletic field allocation policy. We require a certificate of insurance and additional endorsement, naming the city of Menifee as a certificate holder. We require proof of active nonprofit status of the 501c3 paperwork, if applicable, proof of residency through the submission of rosters. We ask for a master schedule. This also will help identify if there are any planned special events coming up, as that may require additional permits and applications. A credit card authorization form if they wish to have that on their file, and a must-go form if applicable, and this is for scheduling of our field lights.
Ms. Cow, that's the streamlined application process?
Yes.
Okay. There were more steps than this in the past?
It was about the same amount of steps, but it was a lot more pages.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Here are our classifications. So we have our resident organizations, non-resident organizations, our recreational youth sports organizations, recreational adult sports organizations, and our travel club teams. And based on our classifications, we have a priority list which determines who pretty much gets access to our fields first. So first and foremost is our city-sponsored or our co-sponsored events or groups, and any of our partners of which we have an MOU with. Secondly, we prioritize our resident nonprofit recreational youth sports. After that is our resident youth travel clubs. Then it's our non-resident organizations and travel clubs, and ending with our resident recreational adult sports. So again, our priority is ultimately with our resident youth organizations. To overview our rules and regulations, we really enforce that the failure to comply with the rules and regulations of our facility use may result in cancellation of current field allocation, and repeated violations may affect future allocation requests. So really, at the end of the day, we just want to ensure that we're holding the user groups accountable. In terms of maintenance and upkeep, the user organizations accept that the facilities are applied for in an as-is condition. Of course, Bryce and his team will regularly assess field conditions to ensure that facilities are maintained at safe, playable standards for residential activity. And based on turf management best practices, we've really identified a certain number of teams which really should be using the field space at any given time. And we have that field use and capacity guidelines chart that we've provided to all the user groups. And additionally, to preserve the quality of the field and allow for that recovery time, user groups have been given additional guidelines on how to help us with that process, such as limit overlapping activities in the highest wear zones. Obviously, that will change depending on what sport you're playing, staggering start times for their teams for practices and games, and rotating the parts of the fields that they're using. Here is an example of our facility field use, our park field use and capacity guidelines, as well as additional specifications that limit the age groups at certain fields depending on the size of the field, and additional conditions of the field and the community. Code of conduct. So we really want to enforce that all of our facility users, indoor, outdoor, must comply with local, state, and federal laws, and comply with the rules and regulations that are outlined in our new policy. Any misuse of fields, facilities, or lights will result in permits being subject to partial or full revocation. And this includes, but it's not limited to, failure to cancel lights or field use 72 hours before scheduled use, such as leaving the lights on an extended period of time when the fields are not in use, failure to obtain prior approval and or submit appropriate documentation for special events, and this typically includes the use of vendors or any types of events that impact traffic and parking of the local community. Groups must adhere to the permitted time, so no unapproved extensions or participating in the subletting of fields. So we really enforce that the transfer, reallocation, trading, or subleasing of any field space is prohibited with zero tolerance. Again, our priority is for youth recreational sports. Ensuring that our facilities and fields are left clean and free of trash and debris. Of course, being respectful to neighborhoods, residents, staff, and any other organizations that they may encounter on the field. And of course, the use of bikes, scooters, skateboards, and any e-conveyance device is only allowed on paved or designated paths. As Bryce and Aaron mentioned earlier, we discussed field closures with the groups as well. We really want to ensure the long-term quality, safety, and playability of all of our fields. So the following field closure rotation schedule will be implemented. These are slightly longer ones just to ensure that additional work can be done. But of course, each multi-purpose field will be closed for 1 week every 8 weeks on a rotating basis to allow, again, for the rest of the fields. This information was communicated with the leagues, and we let them know that we would have the dates to them so that they can, create their schedules accordingly. Really outlining the communication chain, how coaches and parents can communicate any concerns or questions they have, funneling that through their league representative, and really a tree of how to communicate different types of concerns or any questions. And we really just want to make sure that the process is transparent, it's clear, but it allows for us to respond in a timely manner. And that's really the importance of ensuring that we follow the correct communication paths, so that if they have a question, going straight to the person that will probably have the answer to ensure that we can address it in a timely manner. And as was mentioned earlier, we do encourage all of our groups to use our website to report any issues. We've updated our after-hours contact and emergency information, who to contact when, information for our non-emergency line, and then really from their dispatch will contact who's appropriate. Also, as mentioned, this is our fields webpage. This shows our field conditions and our closures, and any of our information about our allocation process. But as you can see, we have it broken down by types of fields or courts, outdoor facilities in general, and you can see where it says field status. So we will typically update this to reflect our current weather conditions. And that concludes my presentation. I'm here if you have any additional questions.
Thank you, Ms. Cowell. Commissioners, questions? Mr. Peterson.
I just want to say thank you for all this. I can tell you guys have been real busy on these items, and it's going to be great to see how this one works out. There's a lot of improvements here that I think are going to do a great job for our community. So thank you, guys.
Commissioner Tremblay.
From the meeting, was there any information that you guys received from the leagues and organizations that use the field that stood out regarding this process?
Overall, it was very positive. I think the groups appreciated the clarity and the step-by-step process of getting their application submitted. We had a couple of questions, some of it regarding the upcoming fees, but again, all positive. And I think they were just ensuring that they had a timeline figured out for the fee increase that we've discussed here at Commission, so they are aware that that is coming in the near future. And then really the only feedback we had other than that was to ensure that they had the closure schedule in advance so they can just plan accordingly.
Commissioner Sanchez.
I just had a question, maybe it's off topic, but as to the La Ladera Park, that other field, softball field, when is that expected to be completed?
So we're still doing the plan review on that. So that we're on our second comments. We're about to submit that before the Christmas break. So in the next 2 weeks, we should resubmit that. As long as everything goes good there, we'll be able to go out to bid. So I would say we would start construction in summertime.
Summertime. Okay, and the lighting for that park, when is that?
That's involved with that. So La Ladera, that's all one project. Adding the other ball field, the lighting, it's all one.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Excellent report. A lot of work went into this. And just one note, Guy, I'm not sure if this table is published, park field use and capacity guidelines table. It says there's no lights at Quartz Ranch. Is that just a typo? I don't know if this is published. But
We will go ahead and update that.
okay. And again, this you amended the policy update. It does not require City Council approval, so we'll be able to just proceed with this allocation policy and go forward. Thank you, commissioners, and thank you so much again for this detailed report. Awesome. All right, let's go to item 9.3, Audie Murphy Ranch Skate Park Staffing Proposal. Recommended action is to review, discuss, and provide a recommendation for the City Council consideration regarding conversion of the Audie Murphy Ranch Skate Park facility to an open access model consistent with regional standards. Who's going to lead us there? Again?
That would be me again. So here's some additional background on the Audie Murphy Ranch Skate Park. In May of 2014, the city celebrated its grand opening. Since then, there have been a couple of concerns and issues that have been raised. In February of 2017, at the City Council meeting, City Council did review 2 options to address some of those concerns, one of which would be contracting an outside company, which is Action Park Alliance. However, the response on that was that annual costs would exceed $221,000, and that would not necessarily cover the entire operational costs of the park. We would still be responsible for maintenance and additional safety measures too. And the other option, which was ultimately approved, was the creation of the Park Ranger program. And so this led to our 2 full-time Park Ranger positions, which we still have today. At the City Council meeting on October 2018, as the Community Service Department was directed to have additional on-site part-time staff with mandatory registration and membership requirements. And in November of 2022, we cut the ribbon for Gale Webb, Kids Our #1 Action Sports Park, and that opened as an unstaffed free access facility. And this really shifted the user demand at AMR Skate Park with substantial decline in attendance. An overview of the operations at the skate park. It is currently open Monday through Friday from 4 to 8:30 p.m. and Saturday through Sunday, so 7 days a week, from 11 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Additionally, we do extend hours during school breaks, and it is closed on city-observed holidays. Our current fees, we separate between residents and non-residents. However, for residents, we do include if the student attends a Menifee school, but an annual pass would be $10 with the day pass being $3. As you can see, there was an emphasis on supporting our residents for that, as non-residents pay an annual pass of $100 and a day pass of $10. So AMR Skate Park is currently staffed during all operational hours, and that accounts for about 3,600 part-time staff hours annually. And at this rate, it's about $67,000 per fiscal year, and we anticipate this increasing with minimum wage impacts over the years. And based off of that, our revenue only offsets less than 3% of the costs. As you can see, this is an overview of our attendance and our revenue from 2022 till now, and there is a significant decrease of 63% since Gale Webb opened in 2022. Of course, along with the attendance decrease, you also see a huge decrease in our annual revenue as well.
Can I ask a question just about that? Because I've heard that the AMR Skate Park is kind of well-known in the skating community. And, you know, it seems like it's a different crowd than the BMX jumper. So do you think that was 22 the first year we started revenue generation and charging a fee, or how long we've been charging a fii? I'm just curious.
2018.
28, so it's been 7 years. I wonder what happened to the regulars, the semi-pro skaters and stuff that would use that, come from all areas to use that park. I'm just curious why that dropped off, or because they couldn't all have just been BMX riders that switched over to the Gale Webb. So.
As we've built too, as well, this one was built, but there's been other skate parks and just like pump tracks and everything that keep it building in other cities. So
there's more options.
There's more options for them, and a lot of those are free, so they can go in that way. So they decide to go there. I'm sure maybe a couple got a little older and they don't skate anymore. I don't know, but
or
I
they
think
don't
that's
like the supervision aspect too. So maybe they'll come back. But
Correct. I think that with some of the restrictions, whether it's a nominal fee, but it is still a fee, or having the restriction of having staff there to supervise them, I think often deters participation.
Sorry for the interruption. A few commissioners had some other questions. Commissioner Gidroyce?
Going back in time, because I was here when all this unfolded.
Yeah, I saw your
The
name.
park was open to the public at large. It is well-known throughout SoCal. People were coming from as far away as Culver City to use it. But with that came an element which, to put it bluntly, was like hooligans. The neighbors who lived around it were complaining to the city about pot smoking, drinking, trash, about people parking every which place, and it became a nuisance situation. Eventually, we had to spend a lot of money to fence off the perimeter of the park. We closed off the cul-de-sacs, which came on from streets in order to keep people from just coming in from any direction. We even hired a guy to be there at night to watch the park wasn't being used after dark and in the evenings. It was out of control. I can recall the council was so frayed at the edges over this. John Denver said, let's just fill it in and forget about it. Greg August said his district, which is number one, nobody's ever going to use it. Why are we spending all this money and my district's being deprived? It became a real contentious situation. So kind of circling back to your question, we had to find a way to weed out all the trouble that was happening there, and the way was to put in the rangers, that it was to put in all these guards around the perimeter, these fences and whatnots, even fake cameras. Eventually, it whittled down to what you saw now, where there's limited hours. I have to throw in also, I remember people complaining that they were afraid to let their kids skate there because of the kind of adult skaters who were in there intruding. So it's under control now, it's almost all forgotten about. And I don't want to cut off your presentation anymore and make a speech, but my concern is frankly, if we just open the doors again, who is going to come back?
We'll have a chance to talk more about that too, because I have some questions about that as well. And Commissioner Sanchez, did you?
I do have a question. Is there e-bikes and e-skateboards and that kind of stuff allowed in there? So I'm wondering if the decreased use is more people are using e-bikes and that kind of stuff out in the streets rather than go to a skate park.
It could be, and then also, as I was sitting here thinking, so as we have, it only opens specific hours too, so some people may not be able to go at those hours, so that, you know, if it was open a little longer, where it was free range like that, we might have some more users on that as well.
Thank you. Well, and I appreciate in your staff report all the history with council actions and stuff, and Tom, I know Tom was right there because I saw his name mentioned many times, but thank you and apologies for the interruption. I'll let you continue on because I know you're going to talk about safety and oversight next.
That is our next one. So since then, over time, our safety and oversight has increased. Our public safety conditions have improved significantly since the establishment of the Menifee Police Department 5 years ago. This has led to faster police response times. As I mentioned, we have 2 dedicated park rangers that patrol all of our parks and the skate park as well. We have added surveillance cameras and enhanced fencing as part of previous capital projects. And we do have a park ranger substation that is planned for fall of 2026 that will allow for the rangers to be on site more often and provide that additional oversight and presence at the park. And there is a high visibility at AMR Sports Park. In prepping for this, we did talk to our risk management group as well as CIRA, which is California Intergovernmental Risk Authority, and they provided some additional liability guidance on this. So they mentioned that staffed operations do increase the liability exposure due to an implied duty of supervision. Any inconsistent rule enforcement by part-time staff then raises the risk of claims alleging negligence or discriminatory treatment. California Health and Safety Code does provide qualified immunity for skate parks only when operated as unsupervised hazardous recreation facilities. By staffing it, that actually weakens the protection. The use at your own risk operations can be supported by rule signage and regular maintenance. And this represents the most defensible approach for municipal skate parks. And so this is very consistent with earlier direction from our insurance providers, both in 2017 and 2018. So our regional comparison, staff did some research and looked at over 30 skate parks here in Riverside County, and only 3 are staffed. That would be La Quinta and Palm Springs, who both also contract out with Action Park Alliance, and Palm Desert, which is supervised by city staff. And recently, 2 of our neighboring cities actually switched to an open facility model, and that would be Murrieta and Temecula. So we wanted to discuss some operating options, moving away from the staffing model. The first option, option A, would be scheduled access with automatic gate locks. This would control access without staffing the facility, and this is similar to the automatic gates that we have at our bathroom facilities at the parks. And then option B would be just fully open access, and this would mirror Gale Webb, Kids Are #1 Action Sports Park. So our recommendation and the rationale is to transition the AMR skate park to an unstaffed operating model. As our public safety resources have improved, this would reduce staffing costs, which would allow us to reallocate those funds to higher demand programming. This does align with Riverside County skate parks. It will increase access and may increase attendance, and of course, it's the stronger legal protection that goes with it. Should we move in that direction, our implementation plan would include phasing out current registration and fee requirements. We would update our rule and safety signage to reflect the use at your own risk model. We would update all of our printed and online materials to reflect that. Our park rangers will provide increased patrols during the transition. Staff will finalize hours based on whichever that selected option is, and we will continue our routine safety checks with both our park rangers and our park staff.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Cal. Commissioners, questions? Ms. Cal?
May I?
Yes, go ahead, Tom. Go ahead.
I recall, and I think this is still important to remember, that the folks who lived around that, and still do, were concerned. I remember them being at a meeting that filled the entire room, and that was they were worried about the value of their homes because of the events that were occurring around the skate park. It was not only just a nuisance, it was becoming impactful if they wanted to sell their house. So I want to bring up that I think it's very important we consider the folks who live around there. That hasn't changed, and their concerns will not have changed if we just do this and don't consult with them. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be very upset. I would suggest, and this is just an idea, that maybe we ought to have a workshop about this with the council, because the people who live around there are in District 2, and I think they deserve that. And then set policy based upon what kind of findings we get after that.
Thank you, Tom. Commissioner Peterson?
Yeah, I live about, I don't know, a 4-minute walk from the skate park. And so I was on Facebook, during that period of time that you're talking about. The amount of complaints was substantial to the point where, we put up, like as you were saying, it's actually not a bad idea to have a workshop. I think that might be considerate to that Adam River Ranch community. But the coordination of that could be interesting.
Well, the thought of a workshop would be to give the public a place to give us input. If it's well advertised around there, get the folks who live nearby to tell us how they feel about this. It's their property that's being affected, it's their quality of life.
Commissioner Tremblay?
Have we been receiving any negative feedback from the pump track in the same way that we had with the skate park previously?
No, we have not.
Because my only kind of like curiosity around that is if everything has calmed down, especially with the addition of like the police department and faster responses, will we just be, like, what would be the cost associated with waiting, then trying to bring everybody in to have a meeting, then if it's been quiet and no one has had any
They're two
issues
different
with
sports and they're two different environments. If you go to the pump track, it's semi-rural around there. So you don't have homes right next to it and people worrying about sending their kids out like at the skate park. I remember people were afraid to let their young kids go there and use it by themselves. It got that bad.
Yeah, and see, I go to that park mainly at night for like sports, but I don't live right around Audie Murphy Sports Park, but I would think the main nuisance would be like all the soccer teams and everyone using the facility. Would just be my assumption, just driving by, so I'm not sure.
More so than a skate park, yeah. Commissioner Peterson, did you have another follow-up?
Yeah, the weed smoking, that type of deal, they'd go back around, down the trail in the wash. and then they would go down, you know, behind people's homes. And you know what I mean? And so that was a little bit, you know, had a little bit to do with that. But, and the soccer teams, I don't think they participate in that. It's more of a, but I also wanted to mention that, or ask if, you know, the automated lock approach, what would be the procedure for, you know, it's closing time and there's, let's say there's 6 people that are in there skating. Is it an automated process, or does somebody need to go and say, hey guys, we're closing?
So it's an automated, so it would close down, but when we're closing that down, it's gonna be pitch black. So the lights would go off, and then they're not gonna be visibly able to see in there. We already have the camera systems that's there, so we'd be able to see if people are there. If they stay, you're gonna have the rangers that are there, they're there on the night, or PD. So there's different options than there was. I remember back when there was those issues, that there was the issues there. We had a Riverside County Sheriff, but we didn't have, it would take an hour for someone to get there sometimes, you know, for a call, but now it's minutes. So there's a difference that way, but it would lock up. There would be an emergency way to exit, but there would be the notice of someone in there. They wouldn't be able to escape because it would be dark, but it would be, that's how it would work. So they would have to exit with that. It would get dark and then leave the facility.
Do we have a speaker system? You know, I know we got the cameras, but is there a speaker there that we can remotely say?
There used to be,
15
there's no, currently there's not a speaker system that's right there. And we want to be careful with that because of that, the residents that are right there. We don't want to have to say, you have to leave really loud every night. The residents don't want to hear that too. So we have to, that's why we used to have one of those, but we have the camera system now with the flock system, flock cameras there with PD that are linked to PD and us, so.
Park is now closing. Commissioner Sanchez?
Yes, in what sense is it stronger legal protection is one question, and then the other question would be, going back to when it wasn't monitored like that, what was the vandalism like in the restrooms and the rest of the park?
It was a big difference. So that is why it was closed down, or not closed down, but we ended up staffing it because of the reasons that Commissioner's saying that. There were some of those issues, but again, we didn't have park rangers, we didn't have a police department that was right here. So it was a little bit different, but there was some hefty vandalism that was in there. And that's why those, the fencing and the cameras and everything has been put up to help deter that and help find anything if there was any issue with that.
As far as the legal protection, so here's the way I'm looking at this. The bullet point just before that says reduce staffing costs and then stronger legal protection. God forbid something happened to somebody, then they'll look at this and say, if this is available to the public, they'll say, hey, you know, they want to reduce costs, and this is what has happened now. You know what I'm saying, from a legal standpoint?
Yes, if we can throw up the current slide right now. So this was our recommendation from our risk management team and our insurance pool, was just having staff there increases the exposure to it because there's this implied sense of supervision. And when you put, you know, especially a part-time staff there, there may be, you know, whether there's inconsistent rule enforcement, this also, you know, raises the risk of additional claims. And, you know, they can claim that there is negligence, there can be claims of discriminatory treatment. And with the California Health and Safety Code, that actually provides the qualified immunity for skate parks, but only when it's unstaffed, because it's the idea of it's used at your own risk. And we have, you know, the signage that's, you know, listed online, it's listed there at the facility. So people are, again, choosing to use it at their own risk.
Okay, thank you.
That's a strong argument, you know, the reducing our risk of claims. Do we know how many past injury claims there have been since the park opened? 7 years?
I can account for the last 5 years, and
Okay.
we haven't had any.
Okay, that's good. But then when it's, you know, when it's, and that's because we have a presence there. But if we don't have a presence, then this would protect us. Can we go back to the 2-option slide? Yeah. So if we had scheduled access with automatic gate locks, we haven't talked about hours under a schedule yet. Would we follow similar hours to what we've got now under the man, where it's like 4 to 8:30? So it's just afternoons and evenings, or would we just make it, dawn to dusk? And then we used to, or currently, I think, don't we have specific days or times for BMX bikes? And is that still the policy, or is that ended? Because I noticed it was in the rules, so.
So as the biking one, that one was removed from
was
the policy for that one. That one was. And then for the hours of operation, and I'll let Gabby go into the bike one, that removed there. I know the hours one, so I don't want to jump over and say the wrong thing. But the hours would be similar to like our sports courts or our sports fields because it is lit. So it would go from 7 a.m. from dusk to dawn, but actually past that, past dusk to about 9 p.m. We would allow that, and the lights would shut off, and then they didn't have the use. So just like the soccer fields or the baseball fields, they're open till 9 p.m.
And regarding your question, they could get out of the gate, they just can't come back.
Correct. There's always a safety mechanism, just like the restrooms. They'd be able to get out of it.
Very good.
Yes, we did remove the time slots for specific types of use just because of we've had such a decrease in participation and attendance in general. By limiting that just cut down on our attendance even more.
Okay. That's the current, and it's posted that way? Because I thought I saw written that it was still those hours were there, but somewhere. Maybe it was maybe it was an old document, or it's not on the website that it's mentioned anymore.
I believe it should be updated, but we could definitely confirm that.
Double check that. And, my number one concern when I read this, and several commissioners brought it up, and it's my first bullet point here in my notes, was resident impact. And with an unsupervised facility, just knowing how, and I've lived in Menifee for 10 years, and I remember all the complaints. I don't live directly adjacent to it, but certainly I remember all the complaints about all the vandalism and trash and, bad characters and drug use and things like that. So I think I would agree with that recommendation, that we have an open, at least give an opportunity for the public to express their concern. Because we don't want them to just say, well, we're just trying to save a few bucks. There's good reasons. I think the legal ramifications of liability, I should say, to the city is always hanging over our head. But I want to make sure that they fully understand that conditions have changed quite a bit since the park was implemented and policies were put in place with our own police department, with our park rangers, with the surveillance cameras that are real and do record, and that we would be mindful of being an unsupervised facility, that it would take and require a little bit more access. So I would strongly recommend that. But Commissioner Tremblay, you had something else to comment?
So mine is more of a clarification. So are we thinking let's have like an open forum for the residents to come in and be a part of the decision, or is it more just to educate them prior to making the decision?
I'd certainly like to hear their feedback. If they just say, gosh, absolutely not, we don't want that thing operated without supervision. If there was a strong sentiment to that, I think City Council would even be concerned about opening.
That's why I was suggesting a workshop with the council, so that they also have their own constituents right there in front of them.
Or at least District
District
2, yeah.
But to be fair, it impacts the whole city cost-wise.
Commissioner Peterson?
I mean, coordinating through the Menifee Ranch HOA would be probably pretty simple, so.
Yeah, as far as advertising an open meeting, and they would probably be welcome to hosting at their clubhouse too. Just an educational. This is where we are. This is what we're proposing, and just get some feedback. I think council would ask for that too. Commissioner Tremblay?
So my question with that is, if we had negative feedback, would we be moving away from option A or B, or would we still leave these two options on the table? If the community is like, no, we want to keep it as is, keep it staffed, is that going to change the options or not?
I think the options would still be the same. It would be a scheduled access with automatic gate locks, or it's, I don't know about fully open just means that it's open 24/7? Is that what that means?
Yes, that would mean that there's no timing on the locks.
There's no timing on the locks. I don't even see that as acceptable at all, because I just think that it needs to be locked up at night, and the lights need to go off at a certain hour, and nobody should be hanging out or be able to get in there after the lights are off. Commissioner Peterson?
What time does it close down right now? Is it 9 o'clock?
8:30.
8:30, okay.
If I could interject really quick.
Sure.
I hear that, of course, community engagement is probably something that we should look at. We do it for our park development. We do it for a number of other reasons. So, it might be beneficial for us, it would be beneficial for us to engage with the residents who are part of the initial staffing setup now. And so if I could recommend, if our next steps potentially would be to host a community meeting like we typically do, and coordinating with the HOA, and then we can bring back the results from that community meeting for PRTC to review some of the feedback, and then officially make a recommendation to City Council.
I disagree with doing that. I think we really need to involve citywide community. That's why I'm talking about workshop. Because folks from all over the city do use that facility. I mean, you sign up, you might be living on the other end of the city, but your kid wants to use the skate park. I don't want to just bring it down to the folks around Audie Murphy as the only ones speaking on the subject.
It would be an open meeting, but a community meeting.
I
but-
still want to drag the council into it. That's my position. I think they need to be engaged, because I remember what we went through in the past and all the explanations, all the attempts we made at trying to make this place viable. And we did bring it down to a very, very limited access. And so I think they, as the political leaders, need to see what's going on and be part of it too. Well, I think you're on the right track. I think my thoughts are too, but I think it's got to be more broadly looked at.
So I think for the community meeting, of course, council would be invited to attend if they are interested. Just when we get into like a joint commission workshop or a public meeting, it's more formalized
That's what I'm
in a way.
aiming for.
That's what you would like to
That's
see.
what I think we should have. Looking back on what we went through, I think we don't want to reopen that door and say, how do we close it again if it fails?
So I think,
So maybe instead of holding it at the HOA Ranch House, which seems to be more specific to just Audie Murphy, having it, see if we can have it at the elementary school right there, right adjacent to it, nearby it, possibly. Where it feels a little more open to the city than just the Ranch House's small meeting room.
So something similar to the meeting we had at Quail Valley Elementary.
Right. But having it at, what's the name of your school?
Tooele.
Tooele, okay, yeah. But that'd be our suggestion, but whatever staff can work out. But I think our recommendation is to have a public forum, just to let them know where we're at and why we're considering this. And just because of the potential impact it's going to have, especially on those immediate residents.
I agree with the meeting. I think it's very important. Being an insurance guy, I'm concerned about the liability aspect. I used to live in Huntington Beach, and they had an open skateboarding place like this. Police was always responding. There was always issues, and I'd be concerned about it being open. But yeah, I think an open meeting, but specifically inviting the city, people who want to be in it, but specifically inviting the people who live in that area. I think they should be very involved.
And certainly the HOA can help spread the word to those immediately impacted as well, too. But,
right.
Okay, so it sounds like we're unanimous on requesting that request. Commissioner Peterson, one last thought?
Unrelated to the decision about a city, workshop, I'm curious, what would be the purpose of the little ranger station there at that point if we're not going to be staffing?
So the ranger station, that's just the location of their ranger station. So it's not just for Audie Murphy. The rangers don't just patrol just Audie Murphy, but that's where they would be stationed at. So they would have some classes there. They would have the office there, but they're still going to be out on patrol. They're not going to be there 24 hours a day. So
Got it. So it's their little substation for all the nearby parks and
Correct.
areas. And got it. Thank you.
It'd be their new headquarters, Ranger.
Correct.
Central. Okay, thank you so much for that presentation and on our discussions, commissioners. We're at number 10, Community Service Director comments. Ms. Mitchell.
All right. Good evening, commissioners. We're got just a few things to highlight, but first off, I do want to mention that, as was mentioned earlier in public comments, Commissioner Sanchez, this is his last meeting, and we definitely want to thank you for your service for 2 years working with us alongside our team, alongside our commissioners, and really providing valuable input on our programs, events, our parks, our amenities. Your opinion, your points of view, and your experiences have been really important to us. So I just want to say thank you for that. So now, if there's anything you would like to share with the commission, I welcome your comments.
I just want to say thank you. It was a good experience. I really enjoyed the 2 years. Maybe someday in the future I'll do it again. It's just I think 2026 is going to be a very busy year for me, business-wise. And if I was going to do this, I'd do it wholehearted. Otherwise, I won't do it. But I appreciate you all, and it's been fun. Thank you.
We appreciate your service, Commissioner Sanchez, and we thank you and wish you all the best in your business adventures and too. And I tell you what, that's the best looking commissioner picture profile I've ever seen on the website.
I don't know who that is. That's not me.
Commissioner Peterson.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, Mo, for everything that, we've kind of gone through over the years. And it was always super fun to crash into you here and there and giving you my parking spot and, just all the little adventures that we got to go through along the way. So congratulations for, moving on and taking on some more business opportunities. I think that'll be great. And it was wonderful to serve with you.
Thank you. Likewise.
Commissioner Tremblay.
I want to say thank you as well. It was a joy getting to know you, and then also really highlighting that you brought a different lens to the commission, especially when we were looking at parks, having your own experience within your family, having a child with disabilities, and how our city is accommodating that from our parks to our programming. So thank you, because oftentimes we can get in the minutia and forget those little details. And you did an amazing job at gently highlighting and bringing it to our attention to make sure that we're considering all of our residents. So again, thank you so much for your service, and I truly appreciate it.
We chatted before the meeting, but I want to say again, thanks for everything you've contributed and your wisdom, and I wish you the very best in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Yeah, make me cry.
That's the goal. And just to give you guys a little bit of information on how we'll fill the vacancy. So this vacancy will be posted by the city clerk's office so that applications will be accepted. And then with a potential appointment at the January 21st meeting, which likely means we'll have a new commissioner for our February meeting. So just wanted to give you a general timeline for that. We will be accepting applications shortly. And of course, just a couple other upcoming events and programs that you guys are all aware of. We have our Christmas tree lighting event happening this Saturday, December 6th, and at MSJC. It starts at 4 p.m. That would be really early, with the parade starting at 5. So want to make sure that if you are participating, please let us know. We welcome you to join us. And then we also have our Extreme Light Fight, which is the home decorating contest. Applications are being accepted through this weekend, so through Sunday, December 7th, with voting happening December 10th to the 14th, with winners being announced on the 19th. The QR code below will take you to our City of Menifee Special Events website, which will give you information on applications, and then when voting opens, voting will also be acceptable there. And then just a minor note, we do have our facility holiday closures that will be coming up. City of Menifee, we're blessed to be able to give staff some time off during the holidays. So our city facilities like City Hall, our Community Services Department facilities will be closed from Wednesday, December 24th through Thursday, January 1st. So with that, I want to thank all of you for 2025. It's been an amazing year. We've got a lot of great things, a lot of growth within the department, and we couldn't do any of it without you guys. So I just want to say thank you so much for making 2025 a great year, and 2026 is going to be even more amazing things to come. So thank you.
I was just curious, for the winners of the extreme light fight, do they get a little trophy, or like, is there an award if you're the winner?
They get a custom yard sign that will go in their yard, and then Menifee TV will come out and try to do a little bit of an interview and spotlight their house.
It's a lot of fun. Exciting.
Like Star Wars.
A lot of fun things happening. Commissioner Peterson?
Seems everybody's cheating these days with the permanent holiday lights, so we better have an excellent extreme light fight this year.
Very good. Any other comments or questions for the director, commissioners? Okay, then, oh, go ahead.
Does Commissioner Sanchez, does he get to participate in the parade on Saturday? Or is he officially
Emeritus?
done as of now?
If he wishes to participate, he can. But this is officially his last meeting, so his term ends today.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We're at item number 11, commission reports on committee activities. Commissioners, do you have anything you'd like to report, your activities for the last month? Going, Commissioner Tremblay.
So, because I wasn't here last month, I was out sick. I'm like all blurred on what I even did. I know I I did the turkey trot, which was a lot of fun. This was the first time my son actually ran with me, my son and my niece. And I did a little interview for Menifee TV, and I'm like, oh no, I can beat them. Apparently, I forgot how much I've aged. But it was such a fun experience. Even though it was like a wet, rainy day, it was really cool to see the community giving to the community cupboard, everyone running around. And it was so cool how the city decided to do little fun stops. So there's an area where you would hula hoop on the run, and then there was an area where you did bowling. So it made it so much fun. As opposed to like, I'm about to run 3 miles. So it definitely added a lot of joy in a wet, rainy day. I did the voting for Teen of the Quarter. It was a quarterly one, which every year I'm always very impressed. However, I was a little sad because they didn't get as many entries as we usually get. But even then, it was still impressive to see what a lot of these young kids in our community are overcoming and pushing through when it comes to athletics, education, and community service. So, yeah, I won't keep going because I know I'll get outside of 1 month, but those are the two that pop up mostly in my mind.
Thank you. Commissioner Peterson?
Okay, to follow up about Trot for a Cause, I would have to say that this year's Trot for a Cause was awesome. The attendance was wonderful. The activities were super fun. My children and everyone else that I saw were loving it. And yeah, it was just a beautiful event. The rain actually made it more fun. You know, we had a nice little rain shower before, kind of maybe a little drizzle here and there, but that was an excellent job on that one this year, guys. Excellent. I was able to participate in the turkey drive over at the Menifee Valley Community Cupboard, which was a fun little event. And let's see, we had the State of the City also in this period of time, right? So State of the City, which was, I think, as usual, a nice, fun event. Veterans Day ceremony. That one, I'll probably say it every year, or every time, Memorial Day, Veterans Day. But the missing man flyover always gets me real good. You know, I didn't have an opportunity to participate in our armed forces or to go to war or anything like that, and I can really appreciate though, you know, those soldiers losing a brother or sister, or you know, just a loved one, families losing a loved one, and I think it's just a special thing, and grateful for the ceremonies that we put on, and then I guess. I got to participate in an Audi Murphy Ranch field flooding event where it was a nice little Saturday morning, and I get a call from a resident who was quite distraught about a situation that happened, and our community services was very quick to get on that one and get the situation handled, and I really appreciate that. So thank you, Bryce, and thank you to your team. You made that guy happy. You made me happy, but yes, appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Anyone else? Commissioners? Okay, I also attended the State of the City address, and Acting Mayor Carwin made that a lot of fun. That was, he is quite the MC. And also I attended the Veterans Day ceremony, which was really special. Especially enjoyed the essays from the youth that the VFW had sponsored, and that was wonderful. And it's always fun to hear all the themes of all the different military branches being performed by our local talent. So, Commissioners, we're now at item 12, future agenda requests. Any requests for future agenda items? Commissioner Peterson.
A resident was asking about, on the Salt Creek Trail, this actually falls a little bit more under your jurisdiction here, I think, asking about benches, like shaded benches. So as they're walking across the trail, just a place to sit down, relax, enjoy, the birds and the trees. But what's the feasibility in coordinating with the county on something like that? Is that something we need to discuss, or?
It's not, I'm not sure if that rises to a level for a discussion item with the commission, but that's something that we're always kind of working with the county on how to improve our relationship on items where things cross over. So the Salt Creek Trail being maintained and operated by Riverside County, although it's in Menifee, there's opportunities for us to collaborate on items to improve it for residents. So if that's something that we can certainly look into on our end, but ultimately, it is county property that they'll have to make the final decision if there's opportunities to do those enhancements.
So would it be most appropriate to go directly to the county, or do we have a suggestion box where we can? I'll definitely let them know.
Mine was just a kind of a follow-up. I know a city council has a future agenda item for feasibility of a regional sport park. Are you planning to do a presentation this month to them as the tentative date suggested? The target date was December 2025.
Initially, the target date was December. That has moved out a couple months because I believe there's some additional items that we'd like City Council to consider as a part of upcoming meetings prior to having that discussion.
Very good. Very good. Thank you so much. I also was interviewed by the student that was from Miami-Dade. I don't know if that went through staff or they just looked us up and emailed us individually. Did any of you guys get interviewed by that young student about parks and feasibility studies and things like that? Sustainability and all that? Okay, it was just picking on me then.
Just you.
Okay. Well, as was mentioned in previous meeting, we will not have a meeting in January because I think it would actually fall on the holiday week, so or just right after the holiday. So our next meeting will be February 5th, right here in City Council chambers. And so, did you have a last, or is this an old? You have one last comment, Commissioner Peterson? Okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, again, another thank you to you guys. We started off with Chelsea's father speaking and made me cry. And then you guys, your presentation about all the things that I'm really passionate about almost made me cry again. And yeah, this was a great meeting, and I really appreciate what you guys have done. So thank you for all of that.
Commissioner Tremblay?
And sorry, just it popped into my mind about future agenda items, but I know we had the joint meeting with the City Council regarding Valley-wide. I didn't know if that was something that will continue to be present, or if we should put as a future agenda item on our end. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, as items, as we begin to move forward, or if there's items that requires commission consideration, we will definitely bring that to commission for discussion. So it's a long process and can be relatively slow moving, but when items do become relevant, we will bring it back to commission for consideration.
Would that regional sports park then probably come to us initially to review, or before it'd go to council, or because it was a direct council request?
So I think right now, because it's a direct council request, it's likely going to be along the lines of, these are some of the conversations we've had about regional sports park and trying to get some more further direction from council where they'd like us to go, which might come back to commission is how I see that happening.
Got it. Thank you. Commissioner Sanchez?
Again, I just want to say thank you to everybody. It's been fun. And I want to see if we could talk about e-bikes and parks right now. Is that okay? Just kidding. Just kidding.
Thanks, Mel.
Okay. Well, staff, we just want to wish you all happy holidays. We thank you for your support, and all of my fellow commissioners, I thank you for your support and all your work this past year as we are charged with assisting staff and making decisions on the recreational and programs within the city. It's been a wonderful opportunity to be able to serve another year, and appreciate you all and your support, and we wish you all a happy new year, and we will